Put on a show last night in Green Bay's 30-28 win over San Francisco. After falling behind with 37 seconds to go, the reigning MVP led the Packers on a late drive with 2 deep passes to Davante Adams that set up the game-winning field goal. It was crazy to see it, but I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. Shannon, what was the biggest reason Green Bay won this one?
Him. it was Rodgers. Just when you thought that they had the game in hand and all of a sudden Jimmy Garoppolo leads them back for a touchdown with 37 seconds to go. And I'm like, that's too much time. I said, and what happens, Skip, is that first play is what gives you the confidence. And you see what happened with Green Bay. They ran the override to Davante Adams, and somehow he got in. He got a little deeper than what Fred Warner was able to sink to, and that got to put him at midfield. So now, with 10 seconds only ran off the clock, we're at midfield. All we need is another 15 yards, and we got a 50-yard field goal. And I'm sitting pretty. I'm liking where I am, Skip. If I can get a 50-yard field goal with Crosby. But I thought Aaron Rodgers threw the ball exceptionally well. Their running game, they ran the ball 25 times for 100 yards. A lot of their running game in the West Coast system comes down, if you see Davante Adams, he'll catch a flat route with 2 blockers in front of him. He'll get 3, 4, 5 yards. That's their run game also. But I thought when Aaron Rodgers needed to be fantastic, and he needed to be fantastic with 37 seconds on the clock, because I know somebody was going to come in here and say Aaron Rodgers not that guy. If that had been Tom Brady. But guess what? We ain't got to worry about that. I ain't got to worry about hearing you say what Tom Brady would have done, because he didn't do what you thought he was going to do. My guy did.
Who's your guy? I don't know.
I got a bunch of guys. You know, I got a bunch of guys. I got my homeboy. He didn't do too much yesterday. I got Rodgers. I got Matthew Stafford.
I thought you were down on Aaron Rodgers. You said you're off his bandwagon.
No. I say I'm tired of his bull jive doing all this talking.
Okay.
But, Skip, I was never one of these guys that overreacted. You understand. You've been around the game. You know great players have bad games, especially at that position. How in the hell a guy win MVP one year, and then the first game of the season next year, he stepped off a cliff? I'm like, come on, guys. The guy had a bad game. There ain't nowhere ifs, ands, or buts about that. He played terrible against the Saints opening day in Jacksonville.
You weren't impressed with him against Detroit the other day.
No. This, by far, this was the most. San Francisco is a talented defense. Now, they've lost some of their DBs, but that front 4, that front 7 can get after you, Skip. And they did a great job. I mean, they got him a couple of times. They sacked him one time, pressured him a little bit. But what he was able to do to get the ball off so quick, he started the game, 16 straight completion? He was 16 of 18 on throws under 2.5 seconds, which was to neutralize that rush, Skip. I can't hold on to the ball and let those guys get after me. Matt LaFleur did a great job of coming up with a game plan, says, Aaron, we need you to get the ball out of your hand quick to slow this pass rush down. But he liked to make a fatal mistake, Skip. Now, what I couldn't understand, and I tweeted this, so you mean to tell me in the NFC Championship game, 4th and goal from the 8, you won't go for it. But 4th and goal, the 3rd game of the season, you want to go for it. You better take the 3 points, and they like to come back to haunt him. But I thought Aaron Rodgers played sensational last night. Skipper, you know what? I don't know how you feel about this, but I thought the officiating in the game was terrible. Because they called one on Green Bay, the guy's falling down, and the Green Bay DB didn't even touch him. And they called pass interference.
I agree.
They got like 3 or 4 of those, and then that hit to Davante Adams. That was helmet to helmet.
Sure.
I don't care what anybody said. I don't care. That's good hard football.
Back judge out of position.
That should have been 15 yards, and Davante Adams shouldn't have been back in that ball game. Ain't no way you take a shot like that and 2 plays later.
Well, if he wouldn't have been back in the ball game, you would have lost.
They would have, but Skip, you know, but what they say about the concussions, knowing what we know now, you must protect the player from themselves. Of course, everybody wants to go back in the game. I've been in situations, man. I need to get back in there. But I don't know if we knew the depth of how concussions work and the severity they can cause later on. So I get it. You want to get in there. You want to show your teammates you're there for them. But sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. But Aaron Rodgers was the reason why.
I disagree with that because in all of my years of watching, covering, studying professional football, I have never seen anything like the 49ers strategy in the final 37 seconds of that game. Aaron Rodgers is, quote-unquote, stuck in Green Bay with the best receiver in pro football. Yeah. He's also stuck in Green Bay with the best dual-purpose running back in pro football to me in the other Aaron, who's
he's top 3. Him, Kamara, and
I agree.
McCat, C-Mac.
Okay. So we get down to 37 seconds left, And already Davante Adams has 16 targets in the game. That's a lot of targets.
Yeah, that's a lot of targets.
Wound up with 18 targets in the game. Next on the list was Valdez-Scantling with 4 targets. So just 18 to 4. So what would it tell you about the last 37 seconds? What can you not allow to happen? You cannot allow Davante Adams to beat you. You have to do everything in your strategic power to make sure Davante cannot get the football. You can double him, you could triple him, you could do whatever. You should just say, no, Aaron, you can't have him now.
Right.
If you want to take Valdez-Scantling, you can have Tunyon. You can ton away with him, whatever you want to do. But Davante is not going to beat us with 37 seconds left. So Aaron very smugly said after the game, he gave little Matty, he calls him Matt LaFleur. I give him credit. He did suggest the first play, but after that, I called the plays from there because he wants to make sure that everybody knows he's now in charge of that offense, right?
Yeah, he might have been the one that called that 4th down play, too.
So he said they tweaked this play, and they ran Davante all the way across the defensive formation. And Fred Warner is very good at coverage, but he just didn't get deep enough because Davante is just running free through the secondary, which is mind-boggling to me because he's just too good. And so Aaron just kind of lobs it up and made a nice throw, and that he got it up over Fred Warner. But there's big cushion in the backside because you got lots of room to get this ball over, and then there's the second one. That is completely uncovered to get you the field goal. So here's the first one, just a little lob down the middle. He's just wide open. Would somebody, that's just pure zone everywhere, and nobody is conscious and aware of Davante. And then this is even worse. How can you let that guy beat you? Because he is that guy for them. And to me, I just fell back in my chair and said, how on earth, without Robert Saleh as the former coordinator, now the head coach of the Jets, DeMeco Ryans is the new coordinator, and he was a nice player in this league, once upon a time Defensive Rookie of the Year out of Alabama. But he is now first-year defensive coordinator, and he had a bad sequence there because I don't know what you're going to call. I don't know what your defenses are termed, but you have to make sure that you're going to double and take away, what is he, 17?
Yeah, Skip. He's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place because they only need a field goal to beat you. If you play man and Davante or one of these guys get behind you, they're going to ask, why you playing man? Why didn't you zone it off? You play zone, and then you allow Davante or one of these guys to get a crease. I thought the thing was if they could have, and I go back to says, should Juszczyk just taking it down, just went down on the one?
You can't ask him to go against his instincts.
Right, exactly.
He is not going to be denied at the goal line. Obviously, if the knee goes down at the 1, the game's probably going to be over. But you have to guarantee me they can get it in from the 1.
That's what I'm saying. I'm guaranteed a touchdown now or possibly not getting it in. But it's a different, Skip. If you're up by 1, say you're up by 1, you do that. Make them burn their timeouts, so forth and so on. But in a situation like this, Skip, when you get a 25-yard chunk play, you're at the 25-yard line. You get one chunk play, Skip, guess what? I'm at midfield. Now all I need is 15 yards, and I got Mason Crosby. Now, I don't have no rookies, some of these guys that's shanking it left and right. I don't got the Jags kicker. I don't got the Chargers kicker that's shanking them left and right. I got I got Crosby, who's very, very good.
What do I call him? Mason Crossbar. Because once upon a time, back in 2016, he beat me in a home playoff game with a 51-yarder and a 56-yarder, both of which looked like they were going to miss off his foot, and then they mysteriously hooked or sliced back across.
Well, last night, there was no doubt. When it hit left his foot,
he nailed it. He nailed it from 51 yards. It was right down Broadway.
And this is where you really make your bones. I mean, somebody has to make a play, Skip, but you're playing a zone. You basically said nothing cheap, nothing deep. Which means don't let anything get over your head, Skip. So he was really in a tough spot. I don't really know. If I'm the defensive coordinator in that situation, I don't really know how I played any different than what he played it.
I'm just going to double. I'm just going to double
and roll the dice and say roll the dice for someone else.
You can beat me because I know where he wants to go with the football because he's getting – it's like Mahomes and Kelsey. Mahomes just looks for Kelsey. Like when in doubt, he's just looking for 87. When in doubt, is Devontae 7? He's 17. Yeah, he's just looking for 17, wherever he is. He is a terror. The way he can move, his explosiveness, his leaping ability. his strength. He gets stronger by the year, and he seems to get quicker by the year.
And see,